Over here we have another rebloomer. This is a Gymnocalisium mihanovici variety Friedrichi. So there's a pink flower. Let's take out this one. This is a old flower. So yep, another rebloomer here. And then, oh no, this one, this is a Lobevia arachnacantha pops that I planted in here. I think this got cooked during the summer. Yep, it's as hard as a rock. As hard as a rock. These are gunners. It's not root rot because the roots are still intact, but if you feel the the cactus itself, it is rock hard. So these are gunners. Hello everyone, welcome to Cactus Caffeine. My name is Anna and good morning and welcome to my fall 2022 update. As you can see, it is sunny, but if you look closely, my cacti are all wet. We just had a good rainfall this morning. Oh, it feels so refreshing after a long time of not having enough rain. We had a good amount of rain this morning, and as you can see, all my plants are wet. I decided to start my fall update today because I wanted to capture all my cacti while they are wet. I know you guys might think I am silly, but this rarely happens and I want to capture this. And I rarely see my cacti these soaking wet, but that is why I love terracotta pots. I don't have to worry. Even though we had a big rainfall, I don't have to worry because most of my cacti are in terracotta pots. And I have well draining soil. As you know, if you've been watching my channel, all my cacti stay outdoors for the most part of the year. I would say 9 out of 12 months of the year they are outside. They only stay inside the greenhouse 3 months of the year during winter time. I will start my update on that rack. I won't be able to finish all my updates for today because I have to go somewhere soon, but I'll see how much I can film for today. So we're gonna start off with that tall rack. That is too tall that I need a step stool to show you guys what is on top of that rack. Okay, so here goes. Back there, that tall cactus, that is a Myrtilo cactus geometricen. That is a cardon that is taking forever to grow. And then these two here, these two are the same. Those are a Polaschia chichipe. They need to be repotted, but I'm keeping them in that tiny pot. It's in a 6-inch pot as long as I can because I don't want them to grow very fast. I've seen these planted in the ground or in bigger pots and they can grow like a tree, as tall as a short tree. I don't have that much space in my backyard, so I'm trying to keep them in a small pot as long as I can. And also another thing, these are not cold hardy. During winter time, I do have to move them indoors or inside my greenhouse because they are not cold hardy, and that is another reason why I don't want them to grow very fast. I don't have enough space in my greenhouse for them. These are the Tephro-cactus that I recently repotted. I did a video of when I repotted them. That was the clumsiest repotting I've done. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link up on this screen or below this video. These are Tephro-cactus articulatus variety Papyracanthus, or the paper spine cactus. And then here is the inermis type, or the one that does not have spine. So these are potted up in the next gardener pots. I have some opuntias back there, and I purposely placed them up high and far away from me because I don't want to touch the glow kids on those. And then this one behind that, Opuntia, this is a type of an old man of the Andes cactus. This one is planted in a plastic pot. So I usually use plastic pots just for seedlings, but last year I did a little bit of experiment. Those cacti that I think appreciates more water, I transfer them in plastic pots. Also my aloes, I transferred most of them in plastic pots. However, after a year, I think plastic pots don't really work for me, because this one, I'm not sure if you can see, but it is still shriveled. It stays looking dehydrated all year round. It is struggling. It is alive, but it is struggling to grow, compared to, I will show you another old man that I repotted at the same time as I potted up that one. This is another type of old man. They were the same height when I potted them up. I used the same soil. The only difference is the type of pot that I use. This is a terracotta pot. Look at how much this looks better than the other one. Those 3 pops underneath, they were not there when I potted this up, so those are new growth. And also the cactus looks so much healthier, so much fatter than the other one. While it is true that I did not have to water as often when the cactus is in plastic pot, because the soil remained wet longer, but I noticed that the plants that I planted in plastic pots are struggling. They did not die, but they're struggling. So my theory is, I think the roots are suffering more in plastic pots, and I think that's because plastic pots don't provide insulation as good as a terracotta pot does. So when at the extreme heat of our summer, when our temperatures were 110 degrees and above, and if these are under sun, the temperatures would be 15 to 20 degrees more. The roots suffered because of that extreme heat, so the plastic pots did not provide proper insulation. So I think I will be moving this back again in a terracotta pot. Later on, I will show you my aloes that are also struggling in plastic pots. Moving down here in the next rack, so I have an assortment here. This is the Opuntia that was given to me by Brent Wiggand. It has grown 2 new pads, this one and this one, but I realized this does not like too much sunlight, unlike the other Opuntias. It used to be out in full sun, but it suffered, as you can see right there. And then as soon as I moved it here under a 50% shade cloth, those new pads sprouted, or they grew much better than the old pads that were growing under full sun. So I don't really have an organization or a specific way of organizing my cacti here. It's usually just on how I can best fit the pots in my rack. Unlike the previous years where I tried to group them according to genus, but most of them have grown so much and I've moved them to bigger pots that I couldn't do that anymore this year. So this is just how I can best fit the pots in my racks. I have an assortment here. That one is a type of mellow cactus. And then I have an astrophytum there. More astrophytums here in front. And then this is mellow cactus as well, mellow cactus azureus. If you can get a hold of this one, this looks so pretty, the blue mellow cactus. They suffered during winter time. They suffered from root loss and they shriveled up, but I'm glad they've recovered. They've plumped back up and I can see new spines growing on top. This, however, this Ariosis here also suffered from root loss during winter time. However, this one is not recovering as fast as the mellow cactus did. It is still shriveled, it's still green, it should be purple. It used to be purple colored, but at least it's not dead. It's hanging on in there. So come on, cactus, keep on fighting. You can do it. Okay, and then moving on further down here, there's not much. Oh, there is a pretty mellow cactus here. to, I am blocking the sun, but it's really a tight squeeze in here. So that is another mellow cactus, another astrophytum, which I also recently repotted this one. Then at the bottommost rack, this is where I keep most of my Haworthias. So this is a Haworthia, and these are Haworthiopsis. They used to be classified under Haworthias, but these are the ones with more like harder leaves, and then they usually have white raised markings on them. So these are Haworthiopsis. These grow like weeds in my area, at least in my area. As long as I'm able to provide them shade during the summer, they grow so well. I already trimmed this last year. I gave away a lot to my friends, but look, right now it needs trimming again and separation. I have at least 3 types in each pot, but you can hardly tell the different types because they're all tightly squeezed in there. So you can see there's some variegated back in there, another type here in front. But yeah, they have grown so much. These Haworthias are more tricky to grow in my area. I lost some, but these 2 managed to survive, and I have a few more that are struggling. And oh, here, some of you were asking for an update on my golden barrel, the golden barrel that was hot nailed by Rob Roy. Well, I did a hot nailing under his supervision. So this is an update now. Oh, it's so hard to take it out, but this is it now, guys. 4 big pops on top of the mummy golden barrel underneath there. See, you can hardly tell that there's it's growing out of one mummy golden barrel at the bottom because the top one has grown so much, so it is forming a clump. I think next year I would have to repot this one because it is starting to outgrow its pot. And then let's move on to this section right here. This is an Echinopsis pachanoi. I also did a video when I potted this one up. This one has grown so much this year, and I've realized I've been underwatering it during the past year. So this year I gave it a little bit more water, and look at the top one. Look at the top growth. The top is so much healthier looking. Okay, so I realized Echinopsis pachanoi wants a little more drink of water, so that's what I've been doing to that one. This is a Pilocereus azureus growing so well. I love it. I mean, it is not a perfect cactus because when it was younger, wood fell on top of it, and it actually has a little bit of a wound in there that healed up. So it is not a perfect cactus, but from this angle it looks so beautiful. And then that was the old man that I showed you earlier. And then I have a pot arrangement here. This is the very first cactus arrangement I did. I think that was 3 years ago. Still doing very well in this pot. I don't think I need to repot that soon. And this one is a Crested Mirchilla cactus. So I have 2 of them. Okay. This, I'm glad I did not cut it off right away. As you know, when you have crested cacti, sometimes they would revert back to their normal form. See, this is a better example. This is the crest, and this is the normal form. So sometimes it would revert to its normal form. And if you want to maintain the crest, you have to cut that off. But I was glad I did not cut them off right away because look, at some point, it grew normal, but then it started cresting again. So I'm glad I procrastinated the cutting. Here is another one. I mean, you don't always get that lucky. Sometimes they would just keep growing normal, but in this case, again, it started growing normal and then it started cresting. So I don't know. I don't think this will crest anymore because it's so big, but we will see. I'm not going to do any cutting anymore since it is fall right now, so I will wait until next year. What else can I show you here? I won't be able to, you know, show and name each and every one of them since this will be a long video, but I will try to highlight some of them. For instance, this one, this is an Echinosaurus Mania. I bought this early this year. I got this from Cactus Joe and it came with a yellow tag. That means it was legally collected from habitat. This has been growing in habitat, but unfortunately here, you know, they had to take out some of the endemic plants growing in habitat due to, say, mining purpose or road development. So anyway, it was a Department of Forestry that did the collection. They put a yellow tag around it to tell you that this was taken from habitat legally, and then they sell it. This is one of those that I got, an Echinosaurus Mania. Ever since I potted it up in this terracotta pot, it has grown so much. I think it is enjoying the pampering that I've been giving it here in my backyard compared to how it was growing in habitat, and it has grown so much. I think it has doubled its size. That is a new pup right there. This is also a pup that just recently grew. So anyway, it hasn't flowered for me. Hopefully by next year. So this year probably it's just growing back its roots and developing more pups. Hopefully next year it will flower for me for the first time. Next, we move over to the front plant rack here. Okay. Ooh, I see my Matucana medicinorum again producing some flowers. This one has pink flowers, and this is the Mania pectinifera that I recently repotted. And in that video I asked you guys how to make this purple, because when I bought it, it was purple, and then under my care it turned green. And Daz of Cacti Mania, he has this as well, and he was suggesting to expose it to more sunlight. And so that's what I did. I placed it here in this rack, which receives some sunlight for several hours during the day. And I could see that the top portion is actually now turning a little bit purple. So I think it is working. Or maybe because also our nighttime temperatures are now dropping. I don't know, but I like it. I like it if it's purple. Okay, while it is fall here right now, guys, our fall weather is actually still warm. Morning temperatures would reach up to like 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius. And then during the night, though, it would drop in the 70s. So it is still warm, and that is probably the summer weather for most of you. But in here, that is our fall weather. And that is why I have not stopped watering my plants, my cacti. I still water them once a week heavily, okay, because of our warm temperatures and also our low humidity. Alright, so from this rack, we'll move over to another section. This video will be in several parts, so it wouldn't be too long for you guys. So I think I will end my first part here, and stay tuned for the second part of this fall 2022 video.